Okay, here we go again. So third time's a charm, right? So I'm just checking out that the audio is going out and that hopefully the video too. Let's just give it a second. Here we go again. Okay, cool. I can hear myself, so I'm going to mute that. Cool. Now let's just wait for the video to go out. Come on. Yes. Yes. Perfect. That is great. Okay, everything seems to be working now. Again, sorry for everyone who was here, who were here on time. I've had some trouble. We can just close this down now. Yes, perfect. Okay, so let's restart this stream again now for the third time. Let's start over. Okay, so hi and welcome. I've had a lot of trouble today getting everything to work just right, but now we should be okay. So this stream is about creating a sample project that creates a sample code that we're gonna send to Apple as a feedback. And that sample code should reproduce a bug that we ran into. That bug is that if you have a live activity enabled or a live activity registered or running in standby mode, it seems like live activity widgets don't calculate the content size correctly. If the content size changes as the live activity is shown in standby mode, it doesn't update correctly. So I'll show you some screenshots right away. So if we switch over to my desk, there we go. Oops, okay, there we go. So this is our live activity in standby mode. As you see, it looks good. Thank you. But this is when everything is working as expected, but we have some cases where it doesn't work as we want. So if the user taps one of these two buttons, it means he or she will move back and forth in the recipe. When doing that, it means that the content will change, and that also means that the content size changes. And then we end up in a state where it doesn't render correctly. So let me just find that screenshot. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so here's an example where the user has moved forward or backward in the recipe, and for some reason, we end up in this state where it has incorrectly calculated the content size, but still renders all the content in that limited height. And then this happens, which doesn't look awesome. This is where it looks good, where everything is rendered correctly. By the way, the colors are debug colors. I put this in to see. I put the colors in to see, which view is going how far and how wide and etc. And this is another bug which I think is related. So it fails at calculating its content size, and I think it's centering vertically based on the content size. But yeah, anyhow, for some reason the bug is that it's not centered vertically. Yeah, okay, so let's get started right away. This was going to be a quick stream, but I've already been here half an hour and we haven't started yet. So let's get to it. First of all, we create a project. I think, do we have dev already? I don't know. Yeah, it is there. Let's recreate it. I did create it in a prior stream, which broke down. Luckily, I didn't get very far. Let's just call it dev, just so we have this bundle identifier I always use with my sample projects. Yeah, this looks good. Let's get started. Bam. Perfect. So if we build this now, and not to the iPhone 14, maybe that's why my previous stream stopped. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is actually my camera, which you're looking through right now. And maybe I accidentally built to it, and maybe that's why the camera froze. Who knows? Okay, let's use the simulator for now. Just to see that everything is working as expected. Okay, yeah, it is perfect. So what we need to do is we need to register a live activity first of all, and then we need to, we can just delete this. So for step 1 is registering a live activity, and then I wonder if a live activity requires a widget extension. I said on another of the failed streams that it shouldn't require a widget extension, but now that I think of it, I think it requires it, because the view you see on your lock screen as the live activity, that view is provided by the widget extension. Oh, sorry, the widget target. So I think we need to add a widget target as well, and that one should add, yeah, the live activity widget, if that's what they're called. But let's start with registering user activity. So we need to import, what is it, user activities, I think it's called. No, just activities, activity kit maybe. Just gonna move the mic, okay. And let's try to find some info on that. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Vision OS doesn't support widget kit extensions, file not compatible, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this answers our question. Yeah, we need a widget extension, widget kit extension. Okay, but for now we just wanna create a live activity. I don't want to see a session now. Oh, but we can look at the code. That's a good idea. Okay, yeah, let's just copy this, and we can. Oh, actually, we can just rewrite it, because we can make a simpler version of this. Let's move that over there. What should we call this? Okay, so we could have a really simple activity that shows animal names or names or something. Man, I'm so bad at this, coming up with a good. Maybe let's just, okay, it shows names. Boom, it doesn't have to be animal names. Name, attributes, I guess. Let's go with user attributes. So this is we can create users in this UI, and for some reason we can see a specific user on our lock screen. Let's go with that. User attributes. That is perfect for now. Okay. And this struct conforms to activity attributes. And to do that, I think we need to import activity kit. A user has a name, which could be, yeah, exactly, it's a string, and that's gonna be, yeah, that's not gonna change. But the thing that is in content state, if I understand activities correctly, the properties in content state, those are the things that can change for the activity. Whatever is defined up here cannot change, or it's not expected to change, if I understand it correctly. So this maybe could be age. Yeah, let's go with age, because that can change. You get older, right? Good enough. Sophia's calling. Well, she'll have to wait. Okay, now. And she's calling. Okay, I gotta take this. Be right back. And I'm back. Okay, there we go. So now we wanna, oh yeah, the body. I mean, this could be whatever it was. I guess so. We don't need activity kit out here. Okay, what is this? This is what happens when, okay, so this is how we registered, yeah, an activity. Okay, so let's put this behind a button. Oh, sorry, okay, so then we can just delete this. We don't need to do a label. Okay, let's do a label. I think we can do text in here actually. We can call it attributes. The name can be, what can it be? Einstein. And we need an initial state. Okay. Let's say Einstein is, oh, that's internal string, is 42. Perfect. And then we need to create a content, which is of type activity content. And then we have the relevance score. Okay, so I think both stale date and relevance score are optional. Let's see what it says. Okay, we need to import activity kit. Let's do that. Oh, okay, we need stale date. That could be Neil. Cool, and now we need to register this. Exactly. We can take this one, which is small attributes, and the content is the content, I guess. Okay, we're not using the response, which is fine, but we can do this to silence this warning. Perfect. Okay, so now when the user taps on this button, we register an activity. And that should be enough, actually. Let's build this, and I'm gonna have a sip of water. Oh, that built fast. Unsupported target. I wonder what this means. Do we need to register that we support live activities maybe? I don't remember. If we Google for this error, do we get any help? Oh yes, okay, we need to define this thing in our plist. Oh yeah, and the plist is nowadays in here. Can we add stuff to this? Yes, we can. Okay. I usually prefer having the plist as a separate file, but we'll just keep it in here to keep things simple. Okay, if we run this again. Okay, no crash. This means that the activity is now registered, but if we go back to the home screen, yeah, no live activity. So we need to create a widget extension as well. And that is, yeah, exactly. Here is the example code how we can do that. Okay, perfect. Let's just follow that. So let's start off with creating a new target, which is the widget target. Widget. I wonder what the correct name is. Is it widget extension target, or widget target, or widget? I don't know. Product name. We can call this widget. Yeah, it's good enough. Include live activity. Yes, please. Now we have a widget extension, and the code is right there. We have a widget bundle. Oh, we can actually, okay, so here's some code we got made for us by creating the project. And as you see, it creates new activity attributes, which we don't want to have because we want to use the ones we just made. We also see that I messed up because I named the target with a small w. So now the struct name is named widget live activity with a small w. And we can't have that. No. We can't have that. So let's redo that part. Okay, now widget with a capital W. Now we get a big W in the bundle ID, but that's fine, I guess. We don't need to activate that. Okay, yeah, this looks better. Okay, so now we can. Okay, so now it's called widget, but now it's failing because now we registered a struct called widget. Okay, we need to name it something else than widget, but it has to be with a capital letter. So let's redo this again. Let's call it name widget with a capital N. Oh, user widget. Yeah, that's good enough. With a capital U and capital W. Okay, now if I just build and I don't do anything else, it should build. Perfect. Okay, that's a good start. We have the regular widget. We don't need to worry about that. That can just stay what it is. What we need to do is, yeah, as I said before, this standard code that we get from Apple creates an activity attributes implementation, which is called user widget attributes. But we already made that in our file user attributes. So let's have that instead. And also this file has to be in both targets because we need the user widget extension to be able to use this struct. So I'm just gonna update so we use the this new struct in the new widget. Just get it building. Dot preview using dot preview. Okay, it's an extension. It's this one. Okay, and what is it doing? User widget attributes. Okay, so this creates a okay, so this extension doesn't really belong here in my opinion, but okay. Actually, let's just ditch it. There's no need to do it that way. Yeah, for this name Einstein. Let's call it preview. Yeah, and then we need new content states. What are these doing? Yeah, exactly. Also extension, which, so these just, when calling this function, the only thing that happens is that we return a new instance of the content state. Yeah, where the emoji is either happy or stargazing. So if we delete that, content state, he could go from 25 to 42, or she, this preview user. Okay, and in here we can just show the age instead. But it's an integer, so we need to, what is it? What's it called? It's called, I forgot the name. String interpolation, maybe? I don't know. Age. We want to basically render the integer value inside a string. And this is how you do that. You basically just say, hey, take this integer value and write it out inside this string, and finally return a string value to the text constructor, which is this thing. State, but we don't want state. We can use attributes. Yeah, dot name here instead. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's clean up a few things here. Yeah, we don't want to build the extension. We want to build the main target. There we go. Register activity. And now if we slide this down, perfect. Oh, it's allowed. We have Hello Einstein right here. That is perfect. And that is this thing. So if we just put, let's put this emoji there just to double check, but I'm 99% sure this is the string that we're seeing. I wonder if the activity is still active. No, it's not. Okay, re-register it again. Okay, yeah, it's the string. Perfect. So now, if we would go into standby mode, this would be able to go full screen, in theory, or almost full screen. But there's a padding around it we can't remove. So the question is, can we go into standby mode in the simulator? And as far as I know, we cannot. So what we need to do is hook up a real device. So let's do that. Fingers crossed this actually works now, because I've had some problems running to this specific device earlier today. Oh, okay, it just worked. Perfect. Just tidying up a bit, removing a lot of widgets which take up a lot of screen estate. Okay, there we go. Oh, and I can actually share this screen with you. I mean, this device, you can see it. If I go in here and I choose to record the iPhone. Oh yeah, it's this one. Perfect. So we take that and I can run it. As you see it right now, there's nothing there. But if I press red, what happened now? Oh, okay, it's trying to, I don't know what actually happened. That's interesting. Okay, now it's running it again. I'm gonna kill the simulator for now. Okay, so if I press register activity on my device, You see it on the right. And now if I swipe down, yeah, the activity is right there. Perfect. So if I put this in landscape mode, the device goes into standby mode. And I see 42 up there. So if I click that, I see the live activity. Cool. That is very cool. And I wonder, it looks like it's going full screen. That is super interesting. I see my HomePod is listening to me. Nope, no, not anymore. Okay, activity. So if we, oh yeah, okay. So activity background tint, that tints the entire thing, obviously. But if we would add a background color to this VStack, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna go and cover everything that is seen in this view. So let's go with background. Well, let's go with red. Let's start with that. Okay, the activity is not running. I need to tap it, and then I put it into standby. Oh, sorry. Yeah, exactly. I put it into standby mode. Yeah, okay. So hello Einstein is red as expected. So if I now would add a couple of strings here, maybe like that. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure that, oh, this is super annoying, debugging standby widgets. Okay, so I think it's gonna get higher, but it's not actually gonna fill the entire height of the screen. It's actually gonna be cut off at the top and the bottom by a pretty thick padding. Let's check it out. Okay, register activity, done. Go here, yeah, we can always set, okay. Yeah, as you see here, this is what I was saying. The view is actually getting higher, which is good. It's adjusting to content, but it's not giving us the spacing all the way out, which is unfortunate. This is different from, for example, let's just allow this. If I go into the clock app, start a timer. Yeah, timer, perfect. Okay, and now go into standby mode. As you see here, at least what it looks to me, it's going, the content is going all the way out to the edges. These buttons are closer to the edge than what our content can render. And I'm pretty sure this label as well, the time label. And as you see in the background, the yellow, the background is slowly filling in with the progress of this timer. It's unfortunate that it took such a long timer because what's interesting is that that yellow part is actually filling up the entire screen, not only the middle part that we can fill in. So if we would set this to something a little shorter, let's go with 1 minute. And we want to go to standby mode. There we go. There we see. You see the content, the background is now going out all the way to the edge and the top and the bottom. And it seems like we cannot do that. We don't have access to that, unfortunately. Oh well, okay. So back to our example. I need to stop that timer because it's gonna go off. So there we go. Okay. So we go back into standby mode. Wakey wakey. There we go. Okay. So that's one issue, but we can't do anything about that, as it seems. So the problem here is that now we need this to actually change content as it's, when it's being shown. So the content should change, which would effectively change its height.
and then we could see if it's a bug or not. So what we could do is we could create an intent and then show a button in here that when the user taps it, the intent executes, and that would update the number of times this label is printed out. That would be one way of showing that bug, which is fairly simple. Let's, I think we should just do that. So if we just add a button here. Oh, we need the new intent button. Yes, that's the one. I'm trying to think. So the app intent would execute on the main app, and then the main app would tell the live activity to re-render. Yeah, so do you really need an app intent? I'm trying to think if there's another way to just make this re-render right away, because, oops, my face is being cut out. Because if we get it to re-render, you know, on demand, we could just have a for each around this text being printed out and having that being printed out random amount of times. That would be one way of doing it. Yeah, no, I think we need to, we need to have an intent that updates the live activity attributes, or the state, the content state actually. And then whenever that happens, this is gonna re-render. Yeah, that's what we can do. Okay. So in user attributes right here, we could have rename this to number of times printed or something. We just call it count. Maybe that's simple enough. Yeah, let's go with count. This is gonna stop building now, so we need to fix that. Okay, and now what we can do is that in the live activity right here, we take that count, and that count defines how many times this is printed out. That should work, right? I think so. I think it's something like this: context dot state dot count. Oops. I'm writing on a keyboard which is using a US layout, and I'm not completely used to it yet. Can we not do that in a for each? Because the other options we need to use the for 0 for no, state dot count. I don't think this is gonna work, will it? No, exactly. Closure containing control flow statement cannot be used with result builder view builder. So the view builder requires the for each, the one on the row below. Oops, there we go. So trying to think. Oh. What's error we get? Cannot convert value of closed range int to expected argument type range int. Let's Google that and see what we get. Oh, is that it? That this is a closed ranged. So when, I mean, is this gonna work? Oh my god, that's so silly. Okay, sure. Argument must be an integer, literal, non-constant range. Oh, it's non-constant, but that's fine. Yeah, that's fine for us because, well, we know it's going to be constant until the live activity is updated. Then we know it changes, and then this is going to re-render. But let's see how this looks like. Okay, and now if we update it so it doesn't count 3 instead. So now it should only be shown 3 times the hello Einstein label in the, yeah, okay, perfect, it's working. That is good. So next step is we need to create an app intent. And the app intent should be able to, in theory, to update the live activity. And the only thing we need to update in the live activity is the count property. And that can be a random integer between 3 and 8 or 7 or 6. Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. Some magic number. And that should make it, you know, start moving up and down every time we click it. And hopefully that gives up, you know, that reproduces the bug. And then we're done. That would be amazing. Yeah, I'm trying to think app intents. So app intents, if I remember correctly, oops, sorry. I think app intents are supposed to be in the main app. They are no longer supposed to be in their own extension, if I remember correctly. Let's actually Google and see if we get any, or maybe there's some sample code in here about that. I don't think so though. Nope, okay. Swift UI app intent. Come on, Google. Okay, let's just wing it. I mean, I've implemented this before, so I'm pretty sure it works the way I'm saying. We'll figure it out. Let's see what happens. So first of all, yeah, exactly. So right here, we're gonna be executing the app intent. So we need to create that. Let's put it in dev. Is there an intent placeholder? Nope. We don't want the surrogate intent. No, okay. Update count intent. Yeah, and this needs to be part of both targets. Update count intent conforms to the app intent protocol, I think. Import app intents, maybe? Does it stop? Yeah, perfect. Okay, now we can delete this. Yeah, exactly. So we need a few things. And I always forget, there has to be a perform function of some sort. We need a title. Hello? I mean, is this good enough? I don't think so. Return. You cannot return an empty result, I guess, but maybe a... Cannot be called like that, right? Let's comment this out for now. Oh, it builds. That's perfect. Okay. What if we call precondition failure here and execute this intent from this button? Update user count, update count intent, and the label. Want that one, and we can call it update. And the system image, if you press Command Shift and L, you get this thing, and here you can see all this SF symbols. So let's go with that. I think that one works nice in this scenario. Yeah, let's see what this looks like. And in theory now, when I press the refresh button, everything crashes. I guess we'll see. Okay, I press register activity. I go to the lock screen. I see the update button. So if I press update, fatal error. That's exactly what we want, because I'm calling precondition failure. Perfect. That means it can actually execute and run that code from the what's it called? From the widget extension, which is very cool. Okay, so where are we? Nope, here we are. Okay, so maybe we should show this view some love, because currently it looks terrible. What if we add a spacer between here? And then this button, label style, I only want the icon to be there. I don't need the text. Icon only. And yeah, this was not a poor choice. Maybe it's better to have it, yeah, this one not filled. Let's try that instead. Okay, register activity, go to lock screen. Maybe we should add some horizontal padding, but yeah, we'll get to it. So if I press, oh, let's see how this looks in standby mode, by the way, because we know that it crashes if I press that button. Okay, so this is interesting. So as you see, we added a spacer right here on line 22, which means that this H tag is going to get as wide as it possibly can within the constraints of the parent view. But still, we have a ton of padding, both left and right. On the right-hand side, I guess it kind of makes sense because there is a, you know, the notch is there. You can see it right here. Let's see if I can get it on cam. Yeah, so the notch is right there. So that makes sense. But still, there's some space there, right? And same on the other hand, on the other side. Yeah. I want to have that space and do something fun with it. Of course, I'm not going to render content there because it's too close to the edges, but I want to be able to render, well, what I want there. Maybe a background color or a progress indicator like the timer app, or, well, you know. Okay, so now we need to, when on the press of that, on this button, we can update the live activity. And that should, in theory, start making so this live activity resizes. And hopefully we see the bug. So I'm going to start by adding, actually, let's move this a bit to the right so you can see it. There we go. Let's add some padding, some horizontal padding to this H stack. So we don't get, so we get a little bit of space on the edge, on the on left and right. Actually, let's add to all edges. Here we go. And now to the intent. Okay, and here we want to update the activity. And I think there was some sample code for that in here. Here we go, update live activity with new content. So this expects that there is an activity which we can tell. So an activity instance where we can perform a selector or call a function on that instance that is called update. So we need an instance that we can tell, hey, you update. So, but since we're on the intent, we don't have a reference to the activity that we set up in content view when the user pressed the button. But what we can do is that in the intent, we can parse through the active activities. I think there's a fetcher for that in ActivityKit. So we can fetch all the current activities, and just on all of them, we can just update with a new count property in our state. And that should be it. I think. Let's try it. So yeah, activity.request. This is to create a new one. So I think there's another function to actually get the existing ones. I think we need to import ActivityKit. Activity dot, this creates a request and starts a live activity. Oh, activities, an array of your app's current live activities. Perfect. Oh yeah, so we need to, this is a generic, right? Yeah, so we need to tell it what the activity attributes type is. And that is our user attributes. Okay, let's do it like that. And then we make a for activity in activities. And then for every activity, we do activity.update. Yeah, exactly. And we can just send it new content. That should work in theory. 1 second. Update. We have 3 of them. What's the difference? They're all asynchronous. Okay, this only takes content. This takes content and alert configuration, and this takes content and alert configuration. Okay, so these two are the same, but on this one the alert configuration is optional, and that's perfect because we're not using that. Okay, here we send content. So now we need to create that content, and we have some sample code right here to do that. Not request, update. Here we go. Size this down, maybe hide that thing. Actually, let's start from the top. I think it's easier. So let's go with let content state equals user attributes dot content state with account. The count can be hard coded to 8 for now. Once we have everything working, we can just make that a random number, and then we can work, tweak those to find the really good numbers, really good magic numbers that will make it jump as much as we want to. Jump in height, you know. Okay, that's the content state. We don't need alert config, and now we can just update. We need to create content which is sent to the update function. We can do it all in inline like in the example code, but yeah, let's do it as a separate one. Activity content user attributes dot content state with a state. Let's move this to new lines. There we go. And no stale date, so it's going to stay there forever or until the live activity runs out. I think there's a limit for the live activity to be active for maximum 8 hours. When once 8 hours has passed, the system or the device itself is going to just get rid of it. And might be good to know. Okay, this might work now. I'm building it. Let's see what happens. Okay, registered activity. If I press that button right now, oh, it got to 8. That is perfect. And this looks, how does it look like in standby mode? Okay, how many do we see on screen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think the max should be 7 because there doesn't fit more than 7 right here. Let's try that once. Let's see what happens. I'm going to standby mode. And I press the button. You see? So that should not happen. So it should actually grow and get centered. But now, if I swipe, just take it back, it's centered as expected. And I can just, you know, go back in and it's as expected. And now if I press the button, it's gonna stay the same because it doesn't re-render because it's the same value, right? Okay, perfect. So maybe let's go with 6. I think that's sufficient. And the lowest value could be 1. So we can int.random in 0.6. No, sorry, 1. So I think this means that it's going to be a random number every time we call this intent now between 1 and 6. And that's included in 6. We register activity. We go to the lock screen. We go to standby. Perfect. 1 works. Yeah, now it's starting to act weird. Now it's cut off. 2 works. 1 works. 3. Okay, maybe it's stupid to have 1. Let's go with maybe 2 or something. Okay, register activity. Go to lock screen. Wait for standby mode. I think I need to turn off. Do I need to turn off the screen? I'm not sure about that. Sometimes it just happens without me manually locking the device. Okay. And I need to Face ID. Perfect. Okay. So if I tap it, yeah, you see, this is the bug. It shouldn't be down there. So if I swipe up and release, yeah, it's centered again. Press the button, it's off center. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I think this is good enough. Now we have really good a really simple sample code which just reproduces the problem. Well, perfect. You don't see the passcode. That is very good. Yeah. Okay. I think that's going to be it for this stream. Yeah, I'm going to send this to Apple in a feedback. If you are watching and you're at Apple, I'm going to put the feedback ID in the description for this YouTube clip. So you can get it right there, or you can just ping me on Mastodon and I'll send it to you. And that's it. Cool. Thank you for joining, and I hope you learned something about app intents or widgets or Swift UI in this video. Until next time, take care and stay safe.